to you. Here in the region, the ongoing interdivision ball games at Arua City, it kick-started yesterday and it will be coming to conclusion today. I'll be talking about that. What about Dennis Ozara, the former attacker for Onduparaka Football Club? He sustained an injury when Sports Club Villa did beat the side Maroons and is going to be ruled out for around 26 weeks. We'll also be talking about that one and the kind of injury he has sustained. What about the friendly match between Sports Club Vipers and the Mamelodi Sundowns? The game is supposed to take place today in Pretoria, down in South Africa, and it has been called off. Why it has been called off, we will also be discussing about that. What about some of the international stories? Remember, there is a very big game coming tonight. It's always a precursor ahead of the new season in the UEFA Champions League. It's always played between the team that wins the UEFA Champions League up against the team that won the UEFA Europa League. The team that won the UEFA Europa League was Sevilla after beating AS Roma of Mourinho by 1-0. Meanwhile, for the UEFA Champions League final, it was the same scoreline as Inter Milan went on to edge out, not Inter Milan, rather Manchester City edging out Inter Milan by 1-0. If I can remember very well, that solo goal came from Rodri. Will be talking about that one. The game is tonight and the kickoff time is actually 10 p.m. Away from that, the biggest story to me is all about Neymar Jr. completing a move to Saudi Pro League. He has already completed a move to Al Hilal. We'll be talking about that one. What about the deal of David Raya? So the story, the whole of last week, the story has been linking him to move to the team of Gunners, and I can confirm to you the deal is already confirmed. David Raya, the former goalkeeper for Brentford, is now a goalkeeper for Arsenal. They have signed him on loan, and over the summer of next season, that's when the guy will be sealing the move permanently. What about the saga of Romeo Lavia? I know Chelsea fans will be expecting me to say something about the saga of Romeo Lavia. I can confirm to you, this guy is at the verge of completing a move to Chelsea. He rejected a move to the team of Liverpool, like what Moise Caicedo did. Just a few hours, this guy will be confirmed as a player for the team of Chelsea. And the team West Ham United has already given up in the signature of Harry Maguire from Manchester United, because the guy has come up saying that he's not interested in a move to West Ham United. Though Manchester United agreed a fee with West Ham United, something of around £30 million, but the guy is saying, no, I am not going to West Ham, I am fighting for my position. What about the other transfer stories that continues to make headlines here and there? There is a saga coming from the camp of Liverpool as their goalkeeper Alisson Becker being linked with a move to Saudi Pro League, and also their attacker Mohamed Salah is open to a move to Saudi Pro League in case a club will be interested in signing him. And also bad news for the team of Manchester City, and I can say to the fans of Manchester City, because Kevin De Bruyne, their biggest midfielder, I can say in the last 5 years, this guy of course has been playing an integral role for the team of Manchester City and is going to be out for 4 months, which means will be coming back until December. That's what I can tell you as far as the injury update of Kevin De Bruyne is concerned. As usual, we are starting with what is transpiring here in the region. Let's start here in Arua City. Of course, I did say when I was giving the highlights of the discussion, Arua City interdivision ball games, they have already started. And as I talk right now, the games are going on at Salim Saleh Playground. That's where the games are taking place. Netball, you talk about football, they are all taking place at Salim Saleh Playground. You can actually go there and you see how the games are transpiring. And the age categories that are currently participating in these ball games, we have in under 12, under 14 and under 16. The games started yesterday and they will be coming to an end today. Just a few minutes, that's when you will see the finals taking place. Last season, Arua City, I can confirm to you, they never participated in the national championship, which did take place in Masaka district. The reason, according to the report we have got from the organizers, they are saying the reason is just simple. They never had transport. The rest of the things we are there, the money for feeding, paying the match officials allowances, everything was there, but there was a challenge of transport. This time, according to the report we have got from the organizers, the competition's chairperson, they have already hired a bus. That bus of St. Joseph's College Ombati, which means the issue of the transport is already been sorted. And after the finals being played today, the boys will be taken to Ediofe Boys Primary School for 1 week training. Then after that, you will see them going for the national championship. This time, it will not be taking place in Masaka, and it has been taken to another different district, and it has been shifted to Mbarara City. That's what I also feel I cannot leave out as far as the kids' football is concerned. I still want to repeat it again. The games are going on at Salim Saleh Playground, the on ground for Leo FC Football Club, a team that plays in the 4th Division League, and you can go there and you see what's the space, how the games are going on. I still want to repeat it again. Both netball and football, these games are taking place, and I want to repeat it again. The finals are taking place today. Away from that story, we need to also turn our focus to what is transpiring in the other parts of the country. This time we are turning our focus to what is happening in some of the clubs we have in here in Uganda. Actually, there is a bad news already coming for the team of Sports Club Villa, as they have already lost their newly signed attacker from Ontoparaka Football Club. I am actually talking about Dennis Ozara. I remember a week ago, not even reaching a week, some few days ago, he scored one of the vital goals for the team of Sports Club Villa against Maroons in FIFA Super 8 tournament, which is currently going on, and he got the injury that time. And the injury is a nasty one, I should say, for the fans of Sports Club Villa and also for the fans of Ozara. This guy is going to be out for 24 to 26 weeks. If we do the statistics in months, which means something of around 5 to 6 months, that's when you will see the guy returning for the team of Sports Club Villa. Sports Club Villa, this is a bad news for them because they had signed this guy as one of the replacements for the already gone attacker. I am talking about Charles Bale, who has gone to that's one of the clubs we have in Rwandan Premier League. So a bad omen for them and also a bad omen for the player. He started very well because in his debut, actually it was his first game for the team of Sports Club Villa and sustaining an injury. And in that game, Bull actually played with Sports Club Villa in the semi-finals of the FIFA Super 8 tournament. He was not part of the team, and I can also give you the result. And we also talked about it yesterday. The full time ended in a 1-1 tie between the two sides, and when it reached into the penalty shootout, it was the team Bull FC beating the team that's Sports Club Villa. That's what I can give you as far as the injury update of Dennis Ozara. And also the games are going on so well, and still talking about the FIFA Super 8 tournament, and we have been repeating this one for several times. It's always a tournament which acts as a precursor ahead of the new season in Star Times Uganda Premier League. The last 3 years the tournament has not been there because of the pandemic caused by that coronavirus as COVID. As I talk right now, the defending champions has been that Vipers, and they already knocked out of the competition by Bull FC. The tournament is still going on. We still don't know when it will be coming to an end. And the other semi-final match will be actually between the team that's it will be between KCA up against KCA will be taking on that URA in the other semi-final match. Bull is already through. Just either waiting for KCA or is the team of URA. URA, they have also been very busy in the ongoing summer transfer window. And also I want to repeat it to you, the summer transfer window, the current summer transfer window will start down on 1st of next month. When I talk about next month, I am actually talking about the month of September. If we do the statistics, which means we are only left with 16 days for the ongoing summer transfer window to shut down. For the team of URA, they have gone on to sign 12 players already, and in the process they have also released 11 players, which means, why am I talking about them? Which means the game they are going to play with the KCA is going to be a tough one. Last season, they also met twice in the Star Times Uganda Premier League. They also, in the other fixture, they went on to edge out the Kasasiro boys. So we are waiting to see whether Bull will meet URA or else it will be Bull up against the team Darcy. KCA Away from that story, we also shift into another story. It's all about the friendly match between the team of Vipers Sports Club up against Mamelodi Sundowns. This game, as I said when I was giving the highlights of the show, is supposed to take place today in South Africa, down there in Pretoria, but the game has been called off. Why it has been called off? Because of the delayment in processing the visa of traveling to South Africa. That is why the team of Vipers Sports Club, they have called the friendly off. Speaking something little about the team Mamelodi Sundowns, I know so many viewers might not know much about the team of Mamelodi Sundowns. I can confirm to you this is one of the biggest clubs we have in South African Absa Premiership. In their league, they have ever won a CAF Champions League, and the reason as to why the team of Vipers wanted to play the friendly with the Mamelodi Sundowns, they are preparing for the Sunday game up against the Jwaneng Galaxy of Botswana. Remember, in the preliminary rounds, the preliminary draws, they had been drawn up against Jwaneng Galaxy of Botswana, and this game is 20th of this month, probably on Sunday, and Vipers up against the team Vipers Sports Club up against Jwaneng Galaxy. So they had been doing preparation ahead of the encounter. Now it has been called off. Still continuing with the story about Mamelodi Sundowns, they have been in the recent years, I can say the last 10 years or else 1 decade, this club has been the most successful club in the League of South Africa. I also remember very well in 2016 CAF Champions League final, they also emerged as the winners, and they have been dominating. They have been dominating the Absa Premiership title ahead of the team, that's the Kaizer Chiefs. Though the team Kaizer Chiefs is the most successful club in the League of South Africa, but still of late it's Mamelodi Sundowns. That is the reason as to why Sports Club Vipers wanted to play at least a stronger team to see if they are ready to face their opponents, that's Jwaneng Galaxy. And also this is the club where our former goalkeeper, Cranes goalkeeper, the Onyang was their custodian, and in fact the guy has played for a lot of clubs in South African Premier League. He also played for SuperSport United. That's what I can tell you about as far as the journey for Onyang is concerned in South African League, and mostly he has been spending his time with the team of Mamelodi Sundowns. And still flashing back, last season Vipers Sports Club, for the first of its kind, we saw them proceeding to the group stages of the CAF Champions League, and I also remember very well, and I know some of you can remember it very well, they were in the same group with the teams like Raja Casablanca that comes from Morocco, our neighbors here, the Simba from Tanzania. You talk about the team that comes from the other part of the world, from the other part of the continent rather, and in the process they never performed very well, and already testing the joy of being in the group stages of the CAF Champions League. They feel they need to go there again. They were eliminated in the group stages, but I still want to repeat it again. They have started the preparation early, and the friendly has been called off, and we are only 4 days for the game of Sports Club Vipers up against Jwaneng Galaxy, which means they will not be engaging themselves with a friendly up against a team that's not based in Uganda. Away from that story, I am still talking about the CAF Champions League, though the content has been between Vipers and the Mamelodi Sundowns. I need to give much about the CAF Champions League, some of the clubs that are performing very well when it comes to the CAF Champions League. And there is one thing I need to tell you, the viewers. If you talk about one of the most successful clubs we have in the world, not only in Africa, in the world, one of the biggest sides in Egyptian Premier League, Al Ahly, the name cannot miss. I know most of the people, they have been talking about teams like AC Milan, you talk about Juventus because they have been dominating the Italian Serie A title, you talk about Rangers, you talk about Celtic, and I also want to confirm to you the team of Al Ahly that comes from Egypt, they are one of the most successful clubs. Why am I talking about them? They have gone on to win more than 90 trophies more than 90 trophies. What am I meaning? Which means the number of trophies Al Ahly they have won is more than 90. And also you talk about one of the most successful clubs we have in here in the continent. Don't forget to talk about Kaizer Chiefs of South Africa. You also talk about this club that comes from Tunisia, Esperance, one of the biggest clubs we have in Africa, and also Rangers. And I know of recently it has been Celtic dominating. If you talk about Scottish Premiership, most of the people's mind will go to Celtic. But I want to confirm to you the biggest club we have in the League of Scotland is not Celtic, it's Rangers. Why am I saying so? They have gone on to win more trophies than Celtic. Only that of late it has been Celtic dominating. Though in the past Rangers they were rated ahead of the team of Celtic, but to me, and everyone knows that, Rangers of course is the biggest club in Scottish League. And then the clubs like Barcelona, you talk about the likes of Real Madrid, you will not fail to talk about teams like Manchester United. Liverpool is also in the mix in German Bundesliga. Don't also fail to talk about the teams like Bayern Munich, and you can see of late, it should be around 11 consecutive times they have been dominating the German Bundesliga title. What does it mean for narrowing it here in our country? What does it mean for some of the clubs we have in here in the country? Sports, you talk about sport, you talk about teams like Sports Club Vipers. Of late they have restructured themselves. Unlike those days when they were called Bwana Maya, they have already rebranded themselves as a Sports Club Vipers. They have in the money, they have gone on to bring foreigners into the team. You also talk about the Casasiro boys. I am talking about KCA. They are one of the biggest clubs we have in here in the country. What about URA? They are constructing the team for the future. They want to be as one of the competitors when it comes to the StarTimes Uganda Premier League title, and at the same time they also want to perform very well in the continental football. When I talk about continental football, I am talking about the CAF Champions League, Confederations Cup, but all in all, Ugandan clubs, they have not been performing very well in the continental football. They have not been performing in the CAF Champions League. They have not been performing in the CAF Confederations Cup. They have always been participants. When I say that they have been participants, I mean they always go there, they participate and come back. Their best moment has always been going to the group stages. What about some of the clubs from our neighboring countries? You talk about Young Africans, they are performing very well, always snatching our best players. Fred of late has left the Sports Club Villa, going to join them. What about Khalid Auchos of this world? Young Africans, and I also remember very well, last season was a good one for them, proceeding up to the finals of the CAF Confederations Cup before losing it into the hands of the team that's based in Algeria. I am talking about MC Algiers. All in all, Young Africans, to me, they are one of the best clubs we have in here in the region of East Africa. Not forgetting about Simba. You can say that I am correct, because you look at the game Simba played with the Vipers in one of the group stages of the CAF Champions League last season. They demolished our side, and yet these are the clubs that are all based in the region of East Africa. We expected Vipers to at least pick something against the Simba, which means they have understood the motive of Ugandan football. Now it's all upon Ugandans to see if they can be able to surpass the record the neighboring clubs have been having over us. And also you talk about these other clubs that are based in Rwanda, and they are dominating the best players. Once you see a best player coming from the country, you always see these best clubs from the neighboring countries always coming, snatching them away. You talk about Charles Bale, who has been taken to Rwandan Premier League, and Sports Club Villa, a very big side. They have gone on to win a Uganda Premier League title 16 times, and they are losing good players. And Young Africans came, deceived them, and the Young Africans deceived them, just giving something little, and they took away their best defender. I imagine their captain. I'm talking about Gift Freddy. So Ugandans, they should open their eyes. the Ugandan clubs, they should open their eyes, and it has been happening, and we have ever been discussing about this one. Once our players, they go outside, they cannot perform, and you always see them coming back. And if they are there, they are always warming the bench. You cannot see them in the starting lineup. There are so many players whom we have sent outside, and they have failed to do it in the other parts of the continent, and they have failed to do it in the other parts of the world. And once it's a national game, they are always prioritized, and you will always see them being included in the starting lineup, not knowing whether they have been playing, they have been warming the bench. But all in all, I want to put it short, this is Uganda, this is African football. Away from that story, this time we want to turn our focus to the ongoing Women's World Cup that has been co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand. For New Zealand, they stopped in the group stages. Meanwhile, for Australia, they are performing extremely well. Unfortunately for them, the game is already, the first half of the game has already come to an end. It was a semi-final between, in fact, it is because the game is still going on, it's a semi-final match between the team England and Australia. As I talk right now, England is leading Australia by a goal to nil. The other semi-final match was played yesterday. It was between Spain and the team of Sweden. Sweden knocked out the defending champions USA, and Sweden were beaten by Spain by 2-1, and it was the first of its kind seen Spain women proceeding to the semi-finals of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Meanwhile, for England and Australia, it is also the first of its kind. We are seeing the two nations proceeding to the semi-finals of the Women's World Cup, which means this World Cup is full of histories being broken here and there. For Spain, it has not been a good one for them. Now they are through to the finals, either waiting for England or else Australia. But we cannot say that England is already through because the game is still in the second half. We never know. Australia, since they are the home side, they are one of the cohorts of the tournament. The fan base is there, the vibe is there. We never know. A magic may come from nowhere. They will overturn that defeat, and it may end in favor of them. But all in all, what I want to say is Spain is already through and waiting for either England or else Australia. I know the viewers outside there, they have taken their parts. Others are in the bus of Spain, others are going for England, others are supporting Australia. When the finals are going to be played, I also need to reveal you, the finals will be played on 20th of this month, which means the final will take place on Sunday. On Sunday, this is when you will be expecting the final of the ongoing Women's World Cup. So the third playoffs will be played on Saturday. That's what I can tell you about the finals. For the African countries, one of our sister asked me about the performance of the African countries. They tried, I should say they tried. It was only one team, Zambia, that was eliminated in the group stages. The rest of the countries, they managed to proceed. Up to the knockout stages, round of 16. Morocco, they were humiliated by France. Nigeria went through. They were beaten by the country of England. And also South Africa lost to Netherlands by South Africa. We are beaten by Netherlands by 2-0. Nigeria, of course, we eliminated by England in the penalty shootout. I remember very well the game where the sister of Rich James got a red card. And also the country Morocco, we are humiliated by France in the round of 16. Away from that story, this time we also want to turn our angle to another story. In fact, in the second half of the show, we'll be coming to the other story, but I want to give something about the injury update of Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne, I know, and some of you might know that he has been one of the integral best players, best midfielders for the team of Manchester City in the last 6 to 7 years. And last season, this guy played an integral role to see that Manchester City won a treble. They won the Carabao Cup against Manchester United. They went on to win the UEFA Champions League for the first of its kind in the history of the club, beating Inter Milan by 1-0. and at the same time winning English Premier League. And towards the end of the season, this guy sustained an injury, and also in the final of the UEFA Champions League, he played little, just some few minutes in the game and was substituted. In fact, the finals of the UEFA Champions League has not been a good one for Kevin De Bruyne. I remember in the finals of the UEFA Champions League 2021, he also sustained an injury and was substituted in the game. Manchester City lost into the hands of Chelsea. Again, last season, he got an injury. And trust me, these are my words. To me, I am betting Kevin De Bruyne of this season may not be the Kevin De Bruyne we had been watching in the last few seasons for the team of Manchester City. Why am I saying so? I also need to give you the reasons. First of all, this guy has already turned 32. And mostly in the history, in the statistics of football, when a player clocks 30 plus, you always see the performance of the player dropping. He's already 32. That's why I'm saying Kevin De Bruyne of this season may not be the Kevin De Bruyne we had been watching in the previous seasons. And secondly, he has started becoming as an injury-prone player. So, Kevin De Bruyne, according to me, may not be the Kevin De Bruyne we had been watching. The viewers, they also having their different perspectives about this guy. And this guy is going to be out for 4 months, which means if we calculate, the month of September is there. You talk about October coming, November is there, not forgetting about December. And this guy may come in the middle of December or else towards the end of December this year. That's what I can give you as far as the injury update of Kevin De Bruyne is concerned. With that, we have already come to the end of the first half of the show. When we get back, we still have got so many stories that are making headlines. We have not talked about the UEFA Super Cup between Sevilla and Manchester City, the saga of Junior Neymar leaving to Saudi Pro League for a club called Al Hilal is still untouched. You talk about Chelsea at the verge of signing Romeo Lavia from Southampton. What about the deal of David Raya and also the transfer stories that makes headlines here and there? My name remains Oracle Benson Pastore. Just a look to West Nile TV. We are coming next with the analysis.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Inside technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. With StarTimes Inside Global Star TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update, more benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Inside Global Star TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Thanks for always keeping it locked to West Nile TV. We are always here for you, and thanks a lot for always following our show of Whistle Time. I did promise to you when we'll be getting into the second half of the show, we'll be starting with the analysis of the game between Manchester City and Sevilla in the UEFA Super Cup, which always acts as a precursor ahead of the new season of the UEFA Champions League. Before we go into the analysis, I also need to keep on giving the updates of what is transpiring in the semi-final match between Australia and England. 74 minutes already been played in the game as England leading Australia by 2-1. The first half ended by 0-0. It was England women winning. Now it has turned to be 2-1 for England, still winning, which means if it ends like that, whereas England adds another one, we will see a final, a big final between Spain and England. And I want to put it clear again, these two countries, they have never proceeded to the finals of the Women's World Cup. We will see how things will transpire in the finals. Away from that, continuing with the business of the UEFA Super Cup, Manchester City up against Sevilla. Sevilla of late, people have said they know the angles of the UEFA Europa League. And it's true, they have been dominating the UEFA Europa League gong. I remember they beat Villarreal in one of the finals. They also went on to beat, I remember it was in 2015 when they beat the team Dnipropetrovsk, a team that comes from Ukrainian Premier League by then, before they were relegated to the second tier of Ukrainian football. And as I talk right now, by the way, that is the team I support in Ukraine. The team, I am not fan of Shakhtar. I don't go for Dynamo Kyiv, but I support Dnipropetrovsk. Their brother is called Dnipropetrovsk. Actually, they are brothers. Away from that story, Villarreal, they have been conquering the UEFA Europa League gong. And Manchester City, for the first of its kind, I said it, they won it last season, just edging Inter Milan by 1-0, a solo goal coming from Rodri. And for Sevilla, I also remember very well, I don't know if some of you can remember, else the English Premier League has taken your mind away. It was Sevilla that beat Mourinho's side by 1-0. The game which made Mourinho, he's still suspended, he's still serving the ban. That is what I can tell you about how things transpired in the finals of the UEFA Champions League and the final of the UEFA Europa League. So these two sides, they are meeting tonight, and it's a precursor I've already repeated for several times. I don't want to repeat it again. And so many teams, they have actually been playing preliminary rounds, and the likes of Panathinaikos winning against. By the way, one of the surprising results I should tell you at the moment is Olympique de Marseille. They have been knocked out of the UEFA Champions League by the team that comes from Greece Super League. I'm talking about Panathinaikos. We have so many funny names from the League of Greece. You talk about Panathinaikos, Panathinaikos, Panatholikos. So many of them, Panathinaikos, they already through to the next preliminary round after knocking out a team that comes from French League 1, Olympique de Marseille, which means they are no longer going to participate in the upcoming UEFA Champions League. And also one thing I don't need to rule out is Dimitri Payet. Dimitri Payet, I always know him of being a free kick specialist. While he was playing for the team of West Ham, he left West Ham to join Olympique de Marseille. As I talk right now, the guy is no longer a player for Olympique de Marseille and has gone to a league that's in Brazil and is going to play for the team that's Vasco da Gama. So we will see if Manchester City will be in position to beat the team of Sevilla. There is nothing much I can talk about the game because I'd already given the statistics of the two teams, Manchester City and Sevilla. Manchester City, they have started the season of the English Premier League on a high note, beating Burnley by 3-0. And before that, they also lost into the hands of the Gunners in the Community Shield. And for the team of Sevilla, the first game they played in Spanish Primera Division, it was last Friday. They fell into the hands of the Mestalla-based club Valencia by 2-1. So it's going to be a hard game between the two sides, given the fact that we should not rule Sevilla completely out of the game. Ask me why. This is a team that knows when it comes to playing against English teams. They have ever beaten Manchester United. They have ever picked the results against teams like Liverpool. So it's something normal for them. Manchester City, they will need to be very careful ahead of this game. And I also remember very well, and something I don't want to leave out is last season in the group stages of the UEFA Champions League, they were also together. That's what I can give you ahead of the game. The game, as I already indicated on the screen, is at 10 p.m. The game is tonight. Away from that story, we have got the other stories to be discussed. Officially now, David Raya, not David De Gea, David Raya has been confirmed as a goalkeeper for the team of Arsenal, joining from Brentford. And he had been eyed by several clubs, including Manchester United. Chelsea talked about him before going for Robert Sanchez, his brother, because they all come from Spain. And officially, he has already confirmed his departure from Brentford, and Arsenal officially, they have confirmed his signature. And the fee actually they have paid to the team of Brentford is £3 million, the loan fee. After that, the summer of next season, we will see this guy joining Arsenal permanently for £27 million. Initially, Brentford, they were asking Arsenal to pay £30 million. Since they have already paid the 3 loan fee, they will now be paying £27 million to the team of Brentford. Now the question is, who is going to be the #1 custodian for the team of Arsenal? Are we still going to see Aaron Ramsdale maintaining the position? This is a goalkeeper whom they signed from Sheffield United, and this is his second season at the club. He displaced Bernard Leno from that position, now a custodian for the team of Fulham. Are we going to see David Raya as the first custodian, or else it will still be Ramsdale maintaining the #1 position? We are watching the space. The season is still very long, only one game being played. The goalkeeper that's going to mess will see himself being dropped on the bench. Away from that story, before we look into the story of Neymar Jr. joining a Saudi Pro League side, I want us to first talk about the transfer policy of Chelsea. So many clubs, so many players rather, they are rejecting chance to join Liverpool. Recently, not even lasting a week, they had been competing over the signature of Moise Caicedo. Liverpool submitted 111 million pounds to the team of Brighton for the signature of Moise Caicedo, the Ecuadorian. That guy rejected Liverpool over a move to Chelsea, and as I talk right now, the deal is already sealed. Caicedo is a player for the team of Chelsea, and after failing to pursue Moise Caicedo to join them, they turned the focus to Romeo Lavia. I want to give it fully. I don't want to cut it short like a tail of a goat. At first, so many clubs were interested in the signature of Romeo Lavia from Southampton. Arsenal, they showed interest. Manchester United showed interest. So many clubs. At first, Liverpool took £40 million. That money was rejected. They returned with £43 million. The team of Southampton said, no, we want £50 million. After that, they also had to return with £45 million. Brighton still said, not Brighton, rather, Southampton said no. Until Chelsea offered £50 million for the player. After Liverpool seeing that Chelsea had already snatched the deal of Caicedo from them, they turned their focus to Romeo Lavia, and they increased the bid to £60 million. And by then, Chelsea offered £50 million, which means the difference was £10 million. Liverpool had offered much money than Chelsea. The player again said no.